पूरा ध्यान आपके सांसों पर है। Very slowly and very gently, exhaling from the left nostril, complete the round and stop the practice.
Keep your eyes closed. Let your eyes be remain closed. Don't move your body. Just
And start. Oh. Very slowly and very gently, open your eyes, bring the palms together. Just give a gentle rub and wipe on your face, your hands. Dear friends, the Sulochana Naik Education Trust, under that trust, we have started the YIC course, which we are the coordinators for the Navi Mumbai section under S. Vyasa University. The course YIC, that is Yoga Instructors course, is starting from August 2nd. So please, everybody, try to join in. The course is not only an instructor's course, it also helps in transforming completely yourself. The perspective towards everything changes with this course. Try to enroll, spread the words to your friends and in your family. It's an excellent course, which is also recognized by the whole, it's a global certificate that you are going to get after this. It's a complete transforming course. Okay. So just try to contact us and we'll be giving you more details about it. Thank you very much. Over to Jagdish sir now.
Yeah, Hari Om. Welcome to Swami Vivekananda Yoga Kendra. Dear friends, please inform your family and your friends that we have free sessions of yoga practice in the morning at 8:30 and also in the evening at 6 p.m. Tomorrow we have got Dr. Vijaya Sheshadri from S. Vyasa, Bangalore, who will show us the acupressure points and the yoga session for self-healing. So don't miss the program tomorrow at 6:30. She's all the way from Bangalore, from the S. Vyasa University, which is an world famous university for yoga. And today we have got Dr. Nitin Pathak with us. He's going to talk on prana. Dr. Nitin Pathak, who is the founder of the New Age Yoga Institute. He is also a member of the technical committee of YSB, which is under Ayush, a CEO, and IIT, he is an IITian from Madras, okay, and into yoga. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. Hari Om, sir. You can, just a minute, sir. You can continue.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Namo Namah.
Namo Namah. You can keep your videos off so that we have a good bandwidth. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Jagdish Naik. Thank you for the kind introduction and small correction. I'm not a doctor.
Oh, sorry, extremely sorry. I'm so used to it. All doctors coming, so I'm so used to it, Extremely sorry.
I am an engineer, so my approach towards yoga will be a little different than the doctors. That is what exactly probably I will be explaining or making the people experience today. So let us start our session with 3 Oms and 1 Shanti mantra. We'll all chant together. We'll first chant 3 Oms. Sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu saha viryam karvavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namo Namah. So thank you, Dr. Jagdish Naik and your associates in S. Vyasa for organizing this wonderful series of lectures and the Knowledge Mela, the Gyan Mela. And I feel privileged to be a part of this Mela, privileged to be a part of the prestigious speakers who have come here. And many of them, but still I know many of them who are established and recognized experts in their areas. So today's topic is understanding prana in Hatha Yoga and tantric practices. So, as I explained before, I am an engineer and I like to experiment. So, in the field of yoga also, I am an experimenter. So, I like to remain a student of yoga with a lot of experiments, of course, following the agam, following the classical texts, which give us the right direction. Now, you are all students of Hatha Yoga, students of Raj Yoga, and you all have good understanding and knowledge of the subject, which is prana. आप सब लोगों को प्राण की अच्छी समझ और अच्छा ज्ञान है. थियोरेटिकली हम सभी जानते हैं प्राण क्या है, प्राण की व्याख्या जैसे छांदोग्य उपनिषद, बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद, इसमें किस तरह से प्राण को एक्सप्लेन किया गया है, डिस्क्राइब किया गया है, कहीं ना कहीं हमने पढ़ा है. प्राण की डेफिनेशन हम लोग जानते हैं, प्र प्लस आन. प्र इज कांस्टेंट, आन इज मोशन, कांस्टेंट मोशन. That is the definition, the etymological definition of the word prana. So, however, We also know, of course, the connection between prana, breath, energy. We know that prana is vital energy. ये सब हमने कहीं ना कहीं जरूर पढ़ा है, लेकिन at the experience level, how do we know prana? Have we experienced prana? Do we experience prana at a day-to-day level? That is the question, and that is what we are going to explore today. You may or may not get too much knowledge, but definitely I can say that I will try to make you experience prana at different levels. So we will try to spend more time in the practical techniques, which I will take you through and make you experience. So the first experience which I want you to take is take a first feel of prana. Prana hai kya? So uske liye I will request you all to keep your palms facing upwards towards the ceiling and on the knees. अपने अपनी हथेलियां अपने घुटने के ऊपर रख दीजिए. And I will guide you through my commentary. You can close your eyes, keep your back straight. Take 2-3 long breaths in and out. Now focus your attention at the center of your palm. Your mind focused at the center of the palm of both left and right palm. And breathe in into the center of the palm. Breathe in and breathe out. As you breathe in, you will feel more energy at the center of the palm. Don't lose the attention, the focus at the center of the palm. As if your breath is reaching the center of the palm. Slow but deliberate and conscious breath. Deep breath. As you breathe more and more, you feel more energy at the center of the palm. Just perceive that energy. How has it translated at the center of the palm for you? Just try to observe. Is it giving you a tingling sensation? Is it producing some heat? Is there any throbbing at the center of the palm? Now slowly take your palms, both the palms up about 1 foot till your chest level and slowly take it down. Slowly take it up. And take it down. One more last time. Up. And now slowly take this energy which you have accumulated at the center of the palm and touch the palm to the eyes. If you are wearing specs, then you can touch it to your heart. And feel the transfer of this energy from the palm to your eyes or to your heart. And to slowly take your hands back onto the knees. And gently open your eyes. Okay, so this small experiment, it is not any technique, it is not any specific technique to lead you to anything, but just a small experiment to make you experience the prana. Did you feel the throbbing? Did you feel any heat? Did you feel the tingling sensation? Most of you must be answering yes, your videos are off. But I can sense that. Now you haven't done anything to the center of the palm. You haven't touched. Just with the help of breathing and with the help of the mental attention, mind's focus, you have been able to generate or accumulate prana. Now that is the science behind the prana. It requires breath, it requires the mind's attention. If you take prana and if you take the mind, the bridge between these two things is your breath. That is why the breath has to be used very, very tactfully and very effectively to experience the prana. Now, coming to the next aspect of prana, which is nadis. Many of you may be knowing that if you cut open your body, there is nothing like a physiological nadi. Nadis are, you can say, there are psychic pathways which carry the energy or which carry the prana. So they don't need any boundaries, physical boundaries like the arteries, veins, your nerves. They don't need any physical boundaries to flow inside the body. They can freely flow by themselves. Okay. That is why, since there is a aspect of flowing, the name is derived from the root word, that is nada. Nada means to flow. So nadi comes from the word nada, which is flow. So the basic property of nadi is to carry the flowing prana. Okay. There are 72,000 nadis in our body, human body. We are knowing that, we have read it. Okay. And do you feel that all these nadis carry the prana uninterruptedly without any obstruction? No. There are obstructions which are caused because of our faulty living, because of whatever daily transactions at our day-to-day level, physical, mental, emotional level, whatever happen in our, we are grihastha, so all these things happen. And these create obstructions, mostly in form of the imbalance of tridosha, or they could be psychic obstructions. Now, yoga is a science, Hatha Yoga particularly is a science of removing these obstructions through different techniques. So there are so many books, classical texts like Hatha Yoga Pradipika is there, Heranda Samhita is there, Ratnavali is there, books, Goraksha Samhita is there. These have been written years, centuries and centuries ago, where this subject was handled very, very scientifically. These people were actually scientists who experimented, and without having the tools which we are having today, in this scientifically advanced society. Without having this, they have established certain postulates, certain rules, and they have written it down in the text which I enumerated. So we'll go one by one. The first is Shuddhi Kriyas. Shuddhi Kriyas is nothing but they are using the Panchamahabhuta. Panchamahabhuta is your Prithvi, Aap, Tej, Vayu, Akash. These are the Panchamahabhuta. They use these elements. In Kriya, these elements are used to do what? To balance the Tridosha. So when the Tridosha is balanced, there is a better flow of prana. The obstructions are removed. As simple as that. So will this be enough? Maybe sometimes it will be enough, maybe sometimes it is not enough. Okay. So let us remember one thing, whenever we are doing Shuddhi Kriyas, we are doing it to balance our Tridosha. So we do one simple Shuddhi Kriya which everyone knows, which is Kapalabhati. Okay, everyone knows Kapalabhati. So we will do Kapalabhati. Now here we will understand the Kapalabhati from the connection of prana. Kapalabhati is basically a Shuddhi Kriya which will remove the phlegm or kapha from our cortical area, from our Kapala area, and it will, at a psychic level, it will remove the thoughts, and at a spiritual level, it will make a light visible. You'll be able to see light at the center of the forehead. The Kriya is to use your abdomen, give a thrust, active exhalation and inactive inhalation, and by that thrust, the Shwas, your breath, is pushing up, and from your upper Ghanendriya, it is moving up to the Kapal area, and it is brushing away, it is cleansing the thoughts, and it is cleansing your Kapha dosha. So with this in mind, we will do the Kapalabhati. Just 2 rounds we will do. Whatever you are doing normally, I don't want you to force, do whatever. If you are doing 20 rounds, 20 rounds. If you are doing 50 or 100 rounds, do 50 or 100 rounds. I will just ask you to stop at one time. After stopping, you are going to just keep your eyes closed, feel the calm and tranquility, and then follow the commentary. Okay? So let us all do Kapalabhati. For Kapalabhati, you can sit in Padmasana, Ardha Padmasana, whichever suits you. Your hands on the knees. Take a deep breath in. Fix your chest and shoulder. And now start the Kapalabhati rounds. As you are doing this, visualize the cleansing of thoughts from the forehead and try to visualize a light emerging in your Kapal area, the shining or the bhati in the Kapal area. Stop. Take a deep breath in and out and stay calm. For some time, you will not need to breathe. Just feel that state, experience that state of non-breathing. Whenever you start breathing again, do one more round of Kapalabhati in a similar manner. Don't forget to visualize the light at the Kapal area. Some of you may be able to do, some of you may not be. Don't worry. Stop. Take a deep breath in And deep breath out. And stay calm and tranquil in this state of non-breathing. You will not need to breathe for some time. Alright. So you may open your eyes and release the Padmasana if you are in Padmasana. So that was a Shuddhi Kriya. So you have so many Shuddhi Kriyas like Jalneti is there. Again, it is working on the phlegm. Then there is Agnisar Kriya or Vanisar Kriya, which uses the Agni, the Teja. Then there is Varisar or Shankha Prakshalan, which uses the water to cleanse your. So all these elements are used to cleanse the passage of the prana. It is not merely working on physical body, but it will work on the nadis and for cleansing the nadis and removing the imbalance in Tridosha. So with this in mind, you can start your practices or you can continue your practices. So you have to experience this balancing of the Tridosha, which will facilitate the pranic movements. Keep your mind focused on the pranics whenever you are doing the Shuddhi Kriya. Let's go ahead. Now, we are aware that while talking about the subject of nadis, there are 72,000 nadis, but there are three main nadis or principal nadis, which is the Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Ida is the left nadi or the left nostril nadi. Pingala is the right nostril nadi, and Sushumna is the central nadi. Ida works more on cooling, Pingala on heating. Ida is Chandra nadi, Pingala is Surya nadi. Ida works more on the parasympathetic nervous system. Pingala works more on the sympathetic nervous system. Ida makes you shanta. Pingala makes you active and dynamic. So these are all theoretical aspects about the Ida Pingala which we have already known. Now one more thing is Ida is working on it is more of a Manas Shakti, the energy of the mind. Pingala is the Prana Shakti, the vital energy force. Let us remember these things and understand a few more principles of the prana. So whenever this prana it finds free space to move, hollow space to move without any obstruction, it will lead to a feeling of happiness, pleasure, and bliss. Whereas if you have obstruction, it will lead to pain. If you have been sitting for a long time, just open your legs, just free your legs for some time. Of course, there is more free flow of blood, which is going to give you more happiness, more pleasure, more comfort. But there is also movement of prana, which is going to give you more comfort. Now, if you are experiencing any obstruction of prana in any part of the body, also you are going to feel the misery or pain. Now, that is the basic principle. Now, we'll go to the Sthula Sharir. All the parts of your body, they have a fixed rate of vibration or they have specific rate of vibration. And based on the rate of vibration, the health of the body, part, organ is decided. Now, there is a lot of research which has been done in the concept of biophotons, the concept of sensing those biophotons with the help of Kirlian photography. We in our institute use this principle. We are using this through a technique of bioimaging, where we can come to know the health of a particular organ of the body by catching the biophotons, sensing the biophotons through high definition cameras. So this prana is the basic factor which works on this vibration rate. Whenever there is more flow of prana to the organ, there is higher rate of vibration. When there is low vibration, it means the pranic energy of that organ is low. This is a very, very simple and basic principle. So wherever there is lower rate of vibration, there is jadatva, and that jadatva will take your mind attention or distract your mind to that part of the body always. So mind works in this way that where there is better flow of prana, there is lesser distraction, mind is not stuck up. Man ka koi atkav nahi hota hai us jagah. So imagine if your entire body is healthy, the prana level of all your organs is good, the vibration rate is good, then your mind is free to flow anywhere, it is not stuck at any place. So that is the effect of prana on mind. Then there is buddhi. Buddhi and prana is also connected. There is no specific place for buddhi, just like there is no specific place for prana, for mind, manas. However, buddhi exists everywhere in your body. And the job of this buddhi is discrimination or viveka. And what is the job of this prana? How does this prana work on the buddhi? More the prana, the buddhi becomes more sharp and active. Lesser the prana, the buddhi becomes blunt and inactive. So you can imagine that whenever you are feeling low, your mind, your buddhi doesn't work properly. The discrimination power is low, viveka is low. Now, you bring in the values, which is also an aspect of buddhi, and now you will know that there is something called subuddhi and kubuddhi. So that is another aspect. So I want to explain over here that not always is that the higher prana will lead to only subuddhi. That depends on whatever karmas you have done in the past. So higher prana, if your karmas of the past and the way you have been brought up and the experiences are of negative nature, it can lead to kubuddhi also. So for criminals, this higher prana flow, it may lead to kubuddhi also. So these are the aspects how prana affects your buddhi. But if you are having the good values, if you are feeding your mind always with the right inputs of good reading, which give you good morals and good values, good ethics, then this higher prana, what is it going to lead to? How is your buddhi going to affect? How is your buddhi going to behave? Just think about it for a second. Your buddhi is going to be more towards karuna, compassion, daya, respect, shraddha. Okay. We already know the four aspects of prana, of buddhi, which is the dharma, jnana, vairagya, aishwarya. So at the buddhi level also, the prana has got some effect. So you have to be able to experience that when you are doing your daily practices. And when you experience it and you connect your prana level with your buddhi's sharpness and activeness, you will be able to lead your practices, choose your practices in a proper manner and have a good experience. Okay. So with this much knowledge and this much principle, whatever we have understood now, let us now experience this flow of prana with one practical experience, which is breathing through the left nostril and breathing through the right nostril. So again, sit straight. Your back is straight, shoulders drop. Now you can assume a Nasika Mudra the way you do your Anulom Vilom. If you don't know, doesn't matter, just use your thumb to block your right nostril. First you block your right nostril and you're going to breathe only through your left nostril. Breathe in and breathe out. 10 rounds of only Ida Nadi breathing. 10 rounds of only left nostril breathing. After 10 rounds, you can block your right nostril and left nostril and breathe only from the right nostril. Use your left hand to block the left nostril and now breathe only from your right nostril. 10 rounds. Normal breathing, no long breathing, no holding. Just keep your mind inwards and observe. Last round. Okay. Okay. Open your eyes slowly and try to remember what was the experience when you breathe through the left nostril and when you were breathing through the right nostril. You'll find that the mind becomes more calmer. There is more rest when you're breathing through the left nostril, and when you're breathing through the right nostril, there is more energy, more dynamism. So you have to be aware, and this left and right, the ultimate aim is to balance this Ida and Pingala. That is what the Hatha Yoga prescribes. So this was an experience of the Ida and Pingala. Now let's go a little deeper into the Ida and Pingala and how they travel. Both Ida and Pingala, they originate from a point which is called as the Mooladhara Chakra, which is at the perineum for the males and the cervix area for the females. Most of you are aware of that. And from that point, they move in a cyclic manner, in this manner, and they meet at the center of the forehead, which is also called, in the psychic language, it is called as the Agya Chakra. Okay. Now both are simultaneously moving and they are meeting at the Agya Chakra. Ida and the Pingala. This is the Nadi. These are the, what is moving is the Prana, but this is the pathway. Pathway is the Nadi, channel. Channel is going crisscross. Now, at each point where they come together, I am not using the word intersecting. This little correction which I want to make in the understanding of the Ida and Pingala. There is no intersection, they are crisscrossing. Okay? They are crisscrossing. They don't clash with each other, they are crisscrossing. And when the two forces crisscross with each other, there is a physics principle, which is called as torque. If you are a science student, you will understand it. If you are a housewife, when you do this, ready करते ना छाछ को, तभी क्या करते हैं? एक हाथ ऐसा जा रहा है, एक हाथ ऐसे जा रहा है. तो ये करने से force मिलता है, and that's how processing happens of the charge. You must have probably used the bhaura while childhood. तो bhaura में भी ये torque वाला principle है. So any kind of two forces which are coming together and they are crossing each other, it produces a energy. In this case, this energy is of whirling. And this whirling energy is concentrated at the point at which they come close to each other. That is called technically as chakra. Now you will understand the chakras better. So these chakras, starting from the Muladhara, the Swadhisthana, Manipur at your navel, Anahat at the heart level, throat, Vishuddhi and Agya, all running along the spine. All these are running actually along the spinal area. The chakra's position is at the spinal area. So obviously the Ida and Pingala Nadi pathways are also along the spine. And at the center of the spine, there is Sushumna Nadi, which is going straight up the Agya. We are not going to talk about that today, just now. But we are going to now talk about these chakras. You have understood these points of where the crisscross points where these nadis come together, which are the chakra areas. What we are going to do now as a practical is understand this pathway, which is a going crisscross pathway, which we are going to understand this pathway and experience that pathway through our breathing exercise. Okay. So again, close your eyes. Keep your back straight, your spine is straight. Just follow my instructions. Now there is some visualization which you will have to do now. Visualize as you breathe in the pathway of Ida Nadi, which is moving from the Muladhara to the Swadhisthana in a semicircular fashion, in a semicircular pathway. So from the Muladhara to the Swadhisthana in a semicircle, as you breathe in, just feel that energy. So you'll feel this energy 3 times in 3 breaths. Now from the Swadhisthana to the Manipur, on the right side in a semicircular fashion, breathe in and visualize the energy moving from the Swadhisthana to the Manipur in a semicircular fashion. From the Manipur to the Anahat, till the heart chakra, in a semicircular fashion, as if with an arc. 3 times breathe in on the left side now. Now going on to the right side from the Anahat to the Vishuddhi, 3 times breathe in. And from the Vishuddhi now till the Agya chakra on the left side, visualize the movement of energy. Now having reached the Agya chakra, now we are going to feel the Pingala Nadi movement while breathing out. Breathe out and feel the energy from the Agya back to the Vishuddhi on the right side. From the Vishuddhi to the Anahat on the left side. While breathing out, from the Anahat to the Manipur on the right side. from the Manipur to the Swadhisthana on the left side. And Swadhisthana to the Muladhara on the right side. Okay. After 2-3 breaths of rest, now take a long breath in and feel the entire Ida Nadi moving from the Muladhara to the Agya in a crisscross manner. Take a long breath in and follow the path. While breathing out from the right side, from the Pingala Nadi, from Agya to the Muladhara, now breathe in from the right side from the Pingala Nadi. Up to the Agya Chakra, and from the Agya on the left side, breathing out from the Ida Nadi. All right. That's fine. Slowly you may open your eyes. So we have understood a little bit about the Ida and Pingala and experience of the Ida and Pingala. So whenever we are doing any techniques involving these two, we should be able to visualize this Ida and Pingala. Now coming to the next aspect, which is Panchaprana. So Panchaprana has been explained in the Prashna Upanishad. You might have read about it in your studies. So you know what is Panchaprana. There are 5 pranas, 5 energies, 5 types of energy inside the body. We'll just talk in brief. The prana, the basic prana, which helps us in breathing, in our respiration. The apan, which helps us in excretion, taking out all toxins from the body. Saman, which helps in digestion, assimilation of food. Then Udan, which takes the senses upwards towards the brain above in the face and brain area. And Vyan, which is the circulation energy, which moves throughout the body. So these are the basic 5 pranas. Now, having understood this, let us experience it a little bit. Now, I have taken this concept from the Vigyan Bhairav text, the BSY commentary, that the prana basically comes into your body along with the breath, but it does not follow the path of the breath. It follows the path from your Bindu Chakra. The Bindu Chakra is the point where there is a shaft of hair, which Shendi bolte, it's the Shendi point. Bindu Chakra is the center back point of your head. From that point, the prana is drawn in when you breathe in, and the location of the prana is at the chest above, but it moves in and comes till your Nabhi. Now, when this action is happening, actually there is a there is a bifurcation from the Mahaprana to your Prana. There is a bifurcation into consciousness and Prana. Okay? So consciousness is separate, Prana goes inside to your Nabhi. From the Nabhi, there is again a bifurcation of this Prana into Prana and Apan. Okay? Now Prana and Apan have a natural tendency of Prana moving upward and Apan moving downward. Then there is Saman Prana, which is centered around the center of your abdomen. Then there is Udan Prana, the location of this is above the neck, and Vyan Prana all over the body. So let us do one small Kriya which will help us experience this Prana and Apan. We'll do Vayu Shuddhi Kriya. Vayu Shuddhi Kriya ke liye again keep your back straight. You can listen to my instructions. In this Vayushakti Kriya, you are going to breathe. As you are going to breathe in, you are going to lift up your chest. So you can keep your left hand on the upper chest and right hand below the navel. As you breathe in, feel the pran movement from the Bindu Chakra to your upper chest. And as you breathe out, feel the lower abdomen moving inside and the flow of pran downwards from your navel. So pran, apan moving downwards. Pran, apan, you compress your lower abdomen. Pran, when you lift up your chest. Apan, when you compress your lower abdomen. Do this for 2-3 more times. Okay. So it is not enough to just know and have the knowledge of the prana, apan, panchapan. You need to experience it also. And for experience it, in that you need to take your mind inwards. You need to go from the gross to the subtle, more subtler focus inside yourself. So with daily practice, we do it normally in our daily pranayama meditation class. There you get your attention more and more subtle and experience this prana and apan. Now first time you may not be able to experience it, so you may say that this seems all imaginary. It is right, because for you it is imaginary. For some people who have not experienced it is imaginary. But for a sadhak who has done his abhyas for a long time, this is an actual experience, this is an actual sensing. So that is your prana and apan. Now, how do you experience the other pranas, the saman, udan? We'll do a small experiment and we'll go to the next section, which is the asana section. So, what happens in asana? You are in a position, you get into the asana, and after getting into the asana, then you remain in that final position for a long time. Your focus is on your breath, and there is Sthira Sukhamasana as per the definition of Patanjali. And the benefits by the Hatha Yoga, which is Thairya, Arogya, Raghavam, and by Gherangase, which is Dridata, or by Patanjali who says there is end of the Dvandva. Now, all this, by doing all this, if you have a focus on your prana also, then the asana performance and the inner experience of prana will become better. So we are going to take one small, very simple asana, Parvatasana, sitting Parvatasana in the same position as you are sitting, and we are going to experience all these things. Okay. So, sitting in this position, Dr. Jagdish, how much time do I have now?
10 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 minutes.
Thank you. So, in this position, sit in the straight position, shoulders down, back straight. Your hands by the side. While breathing in, take your hands up. Now feel the prana as you're taking your hands up. The breathing in is happening not only at the level of your breathing apparatus, that is the lungs, but your entire body is breathing in. When you reach the final position also, when you breathe in, feel the prana. Your entire body is breathing. And now stay here. And while you stay here in Sthira and Sukha attitude. Feel some transformation which is happening, and that transformation energy you can recognize as the Saman Pran. For feeling it more, extend your hands a little bit more up and twist yourself to the right. Twist to the right and stay in the final position. Again, focus on your breath. Feel the Saman Pran, recognize the Saman Pran. Breathing out, feel the Apan Pran. Again, breathing in and breathing out, go leftwards. Feel the Saman. Take 4 breaths. Again, come back. And breathing out, feel the Saman, feel the Apan Pran, the excretory Pran, while taking the hands down. Sitting in the same position, now lock your legs in Padmasana or Ardha Padmasana, whatever you can do. And sit in this position. Now sense from your legs area, from the lower body, whatever sensations you are having, take your focus to these sensations and let these sensations move up to your brain. The feeling of pressure or maybe pain or heat, stiffness, whatever you may be feeling, let this sensation go up. Just be with that sensation and feel the Udan Pran now, which is helping the sensations move up to your brain. And slowly release the Padmasana and extend your legs in front. Extend your legs in front. Keep your eyes closed. Now feel the circulation of blood in your legs, in your entire body. And associate this circulation with the Vyan Pran. And come back in Sukhasana. So, this was a small attempt for you to experience the Pancha Pranas. So, this is what is the experience which you can have. We have come only up to the asanas. If there are 5 minutes more, maybe I can go to pranayama. Otherwise, we will stop here and we can at some other forum, we can understand more about the pranayam, pratyahar, and dhyana or dharana. These are the three. How the role of prana is there in these three areas, we can understand it later on. Dr. Naik?
Yes, sir. Yes, we'll have a next session with you where we'll have this pranayama, pratyahara, and dharana.
Yes, thank you very much.
And thank you very much, sir, Nitin sir, for this wonderful session, practical session, and the Pancha Vayus, the Pancha Pranas. Thank you very
Thanks
much.
a lot for giving this opportunity, and we will end this session with a small prayer.
Sir, we'll go for the question answer if you have the time.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Anybody has any questions, please? Any questions? You can go for it. Those who are can unmute your mics and one by one, please. Any questions if anybody is having?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, there is one therapy which is called as pranic healing. So
Yes.
how much is it effective?
It is certainly effective. Now, see, you have understood one thing, that is about making you experience. So if the healer has got the power of making you experience and make the prana flow through your body, certainly it will help you. It is a genuine, you can say, practice if the practitioner is knowledgeable and has the skill of making you experience.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Anybody else? Any questions, please? Anybody? Any questions? Okay, we can go for the Shanti mantra and end the session. Yes.
We'll end the session with a Shanti mantra. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mrutam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om Tat Sat. Shubharatri. Thank you all of you for this wonderful day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nitin bhai. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you, Deepak bhai.
Deepak bhai,
Thank
namaste.
you for attending.
Namaste, namaste. So we enjoyed the energization.
Yes,
Thank
yes, very much, very much.
Do write about your critical appreciation on my
Arre,
person.
bas kya?
Yes,
Thanks. Very nice session.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.